Blackbeard Pirates, Straw Hat Pirates, Nico Robin, Aokiji. The most pirate-like conflict that will ever happen in One Piece. Welcome back to the Weather Station, my Middletsmen. I'm Withdrawal, and in this theory I'll go over all of those topics, why the ultimate showdown of Blackbeard and Luffy will happen in Laughtale, different parallels that will be used, and more. In short, I'll go over how I believe the arc with Blackbeard and Laughtale will go. The video will be split into 3 acts to make it easier to follow. Nothing in this video has been joined from other theories or Reddit. I put really much effort into writing the script, so I hope you enjoy it. If you want to go into theory right away and skip where the structure/basis for the theory comes from, explained, skip to act 1 from the video segments or description. So, when we look at Blackbeard and the way he's portrayed throughout the story, I'm pretty sure we can all agree he is the most pirate-like character in the whole series. The man caused the death for 3 of his old crewmates and recruited his own crewmates from a prison by making them fight out in a death battle. If you then look at how much of a pirate our main character Luffy is, you could probably classify him to be more of a free-minded adventurer and a leading figure rather than a cold-hearted pirate pillaging innocent people. Luffy is pretty much the opposite of Blackbeard when it comes down to his morals. He recruited pretty much all of his crewmates just because he liked their personalities, and he has always put everything on the line in order to save them from danger. But even with all the vast differences, in the end, Luffy and Blackbeard are still the two sides of a coin, sharing the same ultimate goal of reaching Laughtale and claiming the One Piece. Now with that out of the way, let's dive into my theory that I believe will shape the conflict of the Straw Hats and Blackbeard pirates to be one of the best climaxes in all of manga history. As to where the final arc of finding the One Piece is, I can't really tell yet, since I haven't trained my observation haki to be strong enough. We are still currently in Wano, and there are many places where the Straw Hats could still need to go first, like Elbaf, Sabo's location, etc. For the sake of this theory, I'll assume that Blackbeard and Laughtale arc will begin in Fullalead Island, the island Blackbeard currently resides in. Well, at least he did. He's currently sailing somewhere with his crew looking for something that the Marines also want. I'm guessing this is an ancient weapon or something along those lines, but I won't get into that in this series, or this video will never end. I also won't go into what the motives of the Straw Hats are going into the island, because it could be even the opposite with Blackbeard arriving in some other island that the Straw Hats are in currently. We'll just have to wait and see where the story leads us. Lastly, I'll also use an act system to make the structure of this series easier to follow. Act 1. Arriving in the territory of Blackbeard, Fullalead Island. After all of the other Yonko are done, the Straw Hats arrive in Fullalead Island where their final obstacle awaits. The 10 Titanic captains and a menacing figure that goes by the name Marshall D. Teach. The arc begins with the usual adventure element, with the Straw Hats spreading out in the island discovering cool places and weird people. When the normal One Piece island setup and exploration is done, Luffy will probably start looking for Blackbeard in the island, hoping to fight him right away like he always does. But while everyone else is busy doing something on their own, my theory is that Blackbeard pirates find Nico Robin and attack her off guard with the help of Sirius Clear Fruit or Katarina Devon's Inu Inu Nome. I personally believe that Katarina Devon transforming into a Straw Hat would make the biggest impact in this, since the only place where Robin feels safe is with her crew. It could also be a setup for the matchup in the story at the end. I just don't see Robin fighting Sirio. Robin's then taken hostage by Blackbeard and is out of the playing field for now. I believe this will happen since Nico Robin has been heavily built up as a crucial key for the One Piece, with the latest instance of that during the Show arc when Nakuma Mushi warned the Straw Hats about Nico Robin's importance. After Blackbeard gets the information, all of the Blackbeard pirates gather together and run off to the shore with Robin where their absolutely beautiful log ships are located, kinda like how they did when they ran away from Akainu. The Straw Hats would then get alerted by this and try to stop them from setting sail, with Luffy probably rushing their head first using Gomu Gomu missile or something along those lines. With the examples of Crocodile, Kaido, Doflamingo and many others, Oda has a habit of making Luffy get defeated by the enemy close to the beginning of an arc by the antagonist, so I think this is where the best place to do so will be. When Luffy catches up to Blackbeard, he gets absolutely destroyed by Blackbeard and his Devil Fruit powers. As Blackbeard and the 10 Titanic captains set sail, the plot for the arc is set: catch up to Blackbeard before he reaches the One Piece and save Robin. But wait, what a Withdrawal. Isn't it cheap to make Nico Robin get kidnapped by the Blackbeard pirates? This would just feel like a repeat of Enies lobby. Now, hear me out, this is where it gets interesting. The Blackbeard pirates will have one icy cool ace up their sleeve, and a like that goes by the name of Kusan Aokiji. We'll go into his importance later in the video, so make sure to keep watching. Act 2. Chase. After the terrifying twist of events, all of the Straw Hats are fully ready to battle, but it doesn't really help in this situation where the Blackbeard pirates are already sailing in the distance. They then decide to get on the Thousand Sunny to get to Blackbeard, who is still fairly close. Sadly, the sneaky Titanic captains have already tampered with the Sunny, so setting sail won't happen anytime soon. This is the part where Frankie would get his time to shine, since now the whole situation relies on the speed of his ship repairing. The task would probably take Frankie around a day for there to be serious intensity as to how much time do they have to catch up to Blackbeard before he becomes the Pirate King. After the ship gets fixed and they set sail, comes the part where Nami and Jinbei get to shine. The Thousand Sunny getting to Blackbeard in time requires some amazing helmsman and navigation action. I can't really make anything mind-blowing out of the journey they would have at the start of chasing the Blackbeard pirates, so I'll just presume they catch up to them in a few days or something and continue on from there. After a few days, Blackbeard can finally be seen in the distance. The Straw Hats made it in time, but because of the time they spent catching up, they are getting closer and closer to Laughtale, so they will have to hurry. See where I'm going with this? Another key part of almost every arc Oda has made is now set: the time limit. They must beat Blackbeard and his crew before they arrive in Laughtale. This is in my opinion the perfect time limit plot, since Oda can draw Laughtale getting closer at any pace he wants. With the time limit begins the final fights of the arc. How will they begin their conflict, you might ask? Well, there's one thing that screams the word pirate that we have never seen in the story for a reason: walking the plank. This is absolutely a thing I think will happen in the story, and Blackbeard feels like the perfect pirate to make something like this. With Robin captured, she would be the one to have to walk the plank, with Blackbeard using it as a form of blackmail to keep the Straw Hats from stopping them. This situation also really fits the definition of walking the plank, which is to be forced to accept the consequences of something. The phrase refers to the idea of pirates forcing their prisoners to walk off a plank on a ship and ultimately drown in the ocean. With that said, the setting has changed to be a hostage situation. As I said earlier, I don't see Oda making this an NES Lobby 2 with Robin being useless the whole arc, so this is what I believe will happen. Aokiji comes in to save Nico Robin, betraying Blackbeard while doing so. He then lets her escape to his crew by freezing a road of water from Blackbeard's ship into the Thousand Sunny using his ice powers. The Blackbeard pirates would then gang up on Aokiji to kill him with their dirty methods. Aokiji would not resist, but rather play time to keep up the path he created for Robin using all of his powers. After Robin escapes onto the Thousand Sunny, the Straw Hats are finally united again, but the fate of Aokiji is a different story. Aokiji gets killed by the overwhelming strength of the Yonko crew, and it wraps up the story of Aokiji fittingly. When you look at Oda's way of handling arcs, he makes tons of parallels, as most of you already know. A well-known example of this is Dressrosa being the parallel to Alabasta, with many others. The parallel here would be from Nico Robin's backstory, as some of you might have already guessed. During Robin's flashback, we have the scene where our beloved Jaguar D. Saul saves Robin from the world government against orders, because he really doesn't believe she needs to die, and he has grown a connection to her. Saul teaches Robin to always laugh through her struggles and be positive. In the end, Saul ended up getting killed by Aokiji using his freezing powers on his own mate. Aokiji then proceeded to save Nico Robin, letting her go out to the world with only tears and loneliness in her mind and nowhere to go. Back to the present, when Aokiji lets her go this time, the one killed by his own mates is Aokiji himself, and this time the escape route of Robin leads to her friends and home. Now all of the Straw Hats are on the Thousand Sunny, and all of the Blackbeard pirates are on their ship. The One Piece is getting really close now, so there's only one thing left to do: battle it out to decide who is the true King of Kings, deserving of the legendary treasure. Act 3. The last step to become the Pirate King. The stage is set, the Straw Hats have now completely catched up and their ships are side by side. The ultimate pirate fight is about to begin. A true ship-to-ship battle. The most pirate thing that could happen, a kind of fight we have never had in the canon of One Piece story until now. I won't go into who fights who, because I have absolutely nothing to go on, outside of appearances of the Blackbeard pirates. The only fights I am confident will happen are Luffy vs Blackbeard and Usopp vs One Ogre. They will fight it out by jumping on each other's ships. Just imagine how amazing that would be in the manga and anime. It's a very close range all-out battle that can have some people fighting on top of the masts. Again, I won't go into how the fights will go, since we have no info on any of the Blackbeard pirates' powers, so I'm skipping over all of the other Straw Hats and focusing on the final battle with only Luffy and Blackbeard standing. Blackbeard might be the last Yonko Luffy must defeat, but he's also the first Yonko Luffy must beat completely by himself. I strongly believe Blackbeard does have Conqueror's Haki, so the fight will probably probably go nuts in the attack side of things. Because Blackbeard has 2 devil fruits and possibly a 3rd one in the future, I don't think it will be just a hockey fight with Luffy stuck on base form. I predict Blackbeard will do some crazy Gura Gura Gatling type attacks on Luffy, making the fight extremely hard. When both Luffy and Blackbeard have fought for a long time and are exhausted, I see this being the scenario where they realize they have arrived in Laughtale. As to how they will get to Laughtale without ruining the moment of the Straw Hats arriving there together, I believe it will be really dark in the night, so that the island can't be seen well, with some kind of blockade as well blocking the view to the inside of the island. It's the climax of the story now. Blackbeard and Luffy have their standoff in the coast of Laughtale. This last part of the fight decides the next Pirate King. They fight each other with all they've got left, and I believe Luffy will finally overcome Blackbeard with some kind of Gear 5 form or something other that counters the Darkness Fruit. The fight then ends with Blackbeard down, possibly dead. Luffy also falls down from exhaustion, kinda like with the Katakuri fight. The night goes by, and in the morning, the first Straw Hat to wake up will also wake up everyone else. And this is where the story of finding the One Piece reaches its ending. The Straw Hats achieve the impossible. They find the One Piece and have everything in this world. Wealth, fame, power. The new king of the seas is born, Pirate King Monkey D. Luffy. Let me know what you thought about this video and subscribe if you enjoyed it. At some point when writing the script I went full headcanon mode, but I believe this would be an amazing way for the story to go. I'll make more videos like this if you guys like the format. See you tomorrow.